My wife thinks I cheated on her because I said I don't regret sleeping with other women while we were broken up, a breakup that happened because she started talking with her ex again who she previously left me for, and wants me to take it back. Posted by you/AdventurousRace4813. My wife is currently pregnant and has spiraled hard over something I said that I am unwilling to take back. We have a long history. We met at 22 and were in an exclusive situationship. Feelings were there on both sides, and she admitted she loved me. But since she wanted to be single and explore herself, she chose not to be with me and eventually got with someone else, knowing it badly hurt me. I cut her off at that time. At 27, we crossed paths again. Despite how messy and painful things had been, the feelings were still there, like an invisible thread. She deeply apologized, went to personal therapy, and we had long talks before starting something serious. We took it slow. There were a lot of happy times and shared goals. I started to picture marriage, and we eventually got engaged. 7 months into our engagement, she got an Instagram request from the guy she had left me for. She responded politely when he messaged hello. That seriously hurt me because I thought he was gone from our lives for good. I couldn't shake the feeling that my fiancé still couldn't resist getting validation from him, even if it was just basic courtesy, and that not immediately rejecting the request or talking to me about it wasn't her first instinct. She tried to explain she didn't realize I'd have a problem with it, but I couldn't move past it and broke up with her, even though it left both of us heartbroken, more so her. During the breakup, I wasn't sure if I wanted to be with her, so I started sleeping with her again while also dating someone else casually and having sex. She knew, but she stayed involved with me anyway. Eventually, I saw how much it was hurting her, so I told her I should let her go and that what I was doing wasn't good for her mental health. But I was also impressed with how much she was willing to put herself through for me. After months, we got back together for good and later married. My wife recognized her role in how things had gone, and those hookups/casual dating weren't intensely emotional for me, even though I wasn't sure if I wanted to be with her at the moment. This is where it got hard because I once told her in a serious conversation, this is right before we got engaged again, that I don't regret what I did. As painful as it was, I felt it balanced our relationship. Since she had left me when we were younger, at least I wasn't the only one who pined for the other. She also had to emotionally work to keep someone, like I once did. It was toxic in a way, but it gave me mental closure. She didn't like hearing that, but she accepted it graciously, and we went on to have 3 good years of marriage. Now, at 5 months pregnant, she's spiraling again. She cries every day, saying I cheated right in front of her, and demands I take back what I said. She wants me to say I didn't need to sleep with other people. But I can't erase the facts or deny my own truth, especially since, in my perspective, she was the one who first allowed that old guy to re-enter the picture. So I doubled down and told her no, she knew about all of this. Please also note that this topic never once came up in our 3.5 years of togetherness. Ever since we got back together again, she only started pestering me about it a couple of weeks ago. I didn't start this, but I was firm on where I stood. That sent her into even more hysterics. I tried to explain that during those months I genuinely wasn't sure if I wanted to be with her, but that only made her cry harder. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Why on earth are you doing this while she's pregnant? You had forever to air this out, but you chose now? Marriage counseling for everyone, like yesterday. Ops downvoted response. I didn't start this. We didn't even talk about this topic ever in our marriage until a few weeks ago. She started talking, and I just gave her my perspective. Commenter. That is baffling, though, that despite all that you've gone through, this never came up. Ops downvoted response. It genuinely didn't. We had a conversation about it prior to getting us engaged again, where I told her these are my terms on getting back together again, and if she couldn't handle it, she must let me know now before anyone gets hurt again. Commenter 2. You're being awful to your pregnant wife, and you've apparently been awful to her for years. She broke up with you so she could be an independent grown-up for a while and meet other people, and you held that over her head so hard that you told yourself a story about how letting her humiliate herself when she got back together with you helped you get your power back. It was toxic in a way, but it gave me mental closure. WTF dude. It didn't give you mental closure, it gave you revenge. Then when your ex shows up and she is civil, you take great personal offense, so you decide the best way to address this is to humiliate her. While pregnant. Wow. Get help. Ops downvoted response. Why is she being let off the hook about finding herself by leaving me and getting with someone else, if she really loved me? Why does exploring almost always have to involve getting in bed with another dude, especially if it has to do with a woman? There's nothing you can explore by having sex with another person, and I refuse to believe she loved me enough back then, because if she did, she wouldn't feel the need to leave me. Which is what brings me to my point. I admit I wasn't entirely sure I wanted to be with her specifically, precisely because of how she had hurt me when I didn't hurt her the first time she left me. I was entirely justified in not knowing whether I wanted to be with her after how screwed up it left me by being with her. I wasn't lying to her face, and I didn't humiliate her. She humiliated herself because she wanted to, because she punished herself. She felt unworthy and felt like she deserved it. But she had a choice too. If she couldn't handle it, she didn't need to do this. It was entirely her own doing. I didn't cause it at all. Commenter 3. So, hear me out, she is 5 months pregnant, hormones are raging, she must be scared and wondering how it will all go. She is not herself, despite looking the same. You need, as the father of that baby, to comfort her. Studies have proved time and time again that any stress to the mom during pregnancy will affect your baby's brain and its anxiety later on. Right now the question is not whether you meant it, but if the health of your wife and baby is more important than something that happened in the past and is done with? I believe that if you stand your ground, it would make you a jerk. I've been pregnant. I've had a bad husband not comforting me during my pregnancy, and not understanding that my hormones were 1000x what they usually are. Easy enough to say he is not my husband anymore. Maybe revisit the subject once she is done with the postpartum period, so like 6 months to a year after your child is born. If she has agreed these past 3 years with you, there is no reason she wouldn't anymore once she is done being drunk on hormones and scares. Ops downvoted response. This is a hard line in the sand for me, and while I am concerned about her health, this is what matters to me enough to make it a hill to die on. She's hurt me twice badly, where someone else was involved too, who I had a problem with. These were my terms on us getting back together again. If she couldn't handle it, then she should have known. Update 1 day later. When I wrote my original post, I was still in the office, away from her when I left our house. I had spent it numbed out at work, then slept at my office. I am writing this update while I am working from home today, and she's with her mom right now. When I was away, I didn't pick up her calls even though she rang me several times. I lost count. I just needed space to process and figure out what to say. Because even if people argue I don't love her, the truth is I'm attached to her. Maybe we're even a little codependent at this point. When I finally went home, she greeted me, but it looked like she hadn't slept the whole night. I stopped her from going to the kitchen and said we needed to talk first. I told her, before I say anything else, know that I'm willing to give us another shot. But I'm also reevaluating whether this marriage should continue or not. I could see she wanted to cry, but I appreciated that she stayed patient and listened. I told her I wish our history wasn't so messy, that we didn't have so much baggage. I said that even though I wish things had played out differently, I'm never going to outright admit I cheated on her because I didn't. But I do love her and feel empathy for her pain, and I wish it hadn't hurt the way it did. What I needed her to understand, though, is that she can't keep demanding I say I regret what I did. The truth is, breaking up with her and being unsure if I wanted her as my partner was a direct response to what happened during our engagement, when she let that old connection back into her life. Even before that, I had felt unequal in the relationship. When she left me for someone else years ago, I had asked her to be official, and she said no, so she could use the technicality to walk away without feeling like the bad guy. That left me insecure, and maybe it's toxic, but I really did feel that my actions later brought some balance to our relationship. For once, she felt what it was like not to have all of my loyalty, just like I once had to feel with her. I told her that while I wish it hadn't unfolded this way, she has to find a way to accept my perspective. She can't keep projecting her guilty conscience onto me. None of this would have happened if not for her choices first. In some ways, it probably would have been better if we never got back together, but here we are, and we've built a family. I reiterated that these are my feelings, the same ones I was honest about when we reconciled. I asked her to tell me, within a reasonable time frame, whether she can truly live with that or not. I said I'm open to exploring this in marriage counseling with her, but I'm also clear about what I can and cannot say, and no matter what, my feelings about it won't change. If she can't accept it, then we'll have to figure out what's best for our child, together or apart. She broke down in a way that reminded me of years ago when she first admitted her guilt and apologized for leaving me, except this time it was worse. Through sobs, she said she doesn't want to lose me, but she also doesn't feel like I truly choose her. She even admitted the irony of it, pointing out that she knows this is exactly how I once felt during our relationship when she broke our boundaries. Hearing her say that hit me, because it showed she understood the parallel, even if it's unbearable for her. She told me she had time to think and realized that a big part of why she wanted me to say what she wanted was because she still hasn't fully forgiven herself for what happened all those years ago when she left me to be with her ex. She said it was the worst mistake of her life. Even though things have been good between us, she felt like she needed more than just therapy, she needed my validation. In her mind, if I admitted I regretted what I said and how I felt, that would finally allow her to forgive herself and move forward in our relationship. I understand her more now and have empathy, even though I don't fully agree with her that I needed to say that to soothe her feelings of guilt. That really moved me because I hadn't realized that guilt was the real driver behind her extra vulnerability and shame spirals. She said my refusal to take it back just reopens her shame and makes it worse. I told her that at the time, I was hurt and unsure about us, and I made choices I thought I needed to. But I also see now how badly they hurt her. I promised her I'll never repeat them, because today I know with certainty that I want her and only her. For me, this feels like a personal breakthrough. We both admitted that what we truly want is the same thing, to feel chosen. At least that gives us common ground to work from. In the end, even though we were both in tears, we kept coming back to the fact that we love each other. We kissed, broke down crying together, and spent the few hours in early morning holding each other. But even in that closeness, I couldn't shake the feeling that our issues aren't resolved. I still don't know where we stand in terms of any real agreement, only that we're deeply attached and neither of us wants to let go. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Yeah, may this love never find me. Commenter 2. So basically, you two are running a who hurt who first Olympics while she's 5 months pregnant? Commenter 3. At this rate, the baby's first words are gonna be, technically, it wasn't cheating.